the link on the Blackboard. Okay. Okay. So the first definition by Collis and Hussey, very clear definition. It's a complete definition which says that research is a systematic process that will increase the knowledge. Now, increasing knowledge means not the knowledge, like I'm a teacher right now and I'm teaching you. I'm increasing your knowledge. No, not like that. Knowledge of your peers. Peers or those people who know more than you or who have knowledge similar to yours. That means the researcher in that area. So your research should increase the knowledge of those researchers who are working in that area. My voice is not clear. Why it is showing me that it is okay here?
It's like far away, Mr.
It, it
Your
looks
voice
like
far away from the microphone.
okay, wait. Wait, let me- I hope it is okay now. It's better now.
Yeah, it's better, Miller. It's better.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Continue, Mr.
okay. So research, you must, I emphasize on two things. It's a systematic investigation or a systematic process that will increase the understanding, increase the knowledge. Okay, now we come to the second definition. If you see the second definition, this was given by Cambridge Dictionary in 2011. What does it say? It almost tells the same thing. What does it say? It says research is a detailed study of a subject, especially in order to discover new information or reach a new understanding. So you have a detailed study of a subject. Now, what is a subject? Let me give you an example so it would clarify your concept. I want to study, so for me, the research problem is in terms of social sciences is that I want to study the behavior of humans in at their workplace, that how humans behave at their workplaces. Workplaces means in their companies, in their businesses. How do they behave? Okay. What is the subject of my research in this case? The subject of my research are the people from whom I will be collecting the information. For example, some of you are studying on COVID-19 virus. There are many scientists, many biotechnicians, many doctors working on COVID-19 behavior. Some of them are working on the behavior of COVID-19. Some of them are working on finding the vaccine for COVID-19. Both are different research. We will, inshallah, know today there are different purposes of research. So these are two different things. Someone is explaining the behavior. Someone is looking after the solution of the problem, that is the vaccination. So what is the subject in first case? You are explaining the behavior of COVID-19 virus. Then the subject is coronavirus and the people affected by it all over the world. You get my point? The subject doesn't mean a subject of or a book of information technology or biotechnology or communication studies or business studies. It means the integral part of your research. from whom or from which you will be collecting the information. So this point is okay. That the detailed study of a subject. Subject means which is integral or important for your research. Then it's a detailed study of a subject with a view of discovering new information. You find something new. That is the same thing, that it should increase the body of knowledge. Or you come up with some new understanding. Before it was not there. Now, because of your research, you find out some new understanding. Okay, now that means now we know that research always come up with something new. This is the common understanding of researchers. In simple words, in research, we call it the contribution to the knowledge. Contribution to the knowledge is a must. I ask you a question. There are many researchers who worked on the problem. The problem is the behavior of people at their workplace. In many countries, people study this problem. I want to study it in Oman. Does it make contribution to the knowledge?
It's depend, Mister.
If I say that I studied different research papers before, and I found out that there is no research on Oman in Oman regarding this topic. That no one has studied in Oman the behavior of people at their workplace. You can put it in a chat box, yes or no. If you think, let me repeat it. My question is, the research problem is, which I am studying, is the behavior of people at their workplace in Oman. Now, many people have studied the behavior of people in many countries. They have studied this problem in many countries, but not in Oman. So do you think if I study this research problem, it will contribute to the knowledge? Will it give some new information or new understanding? Yes or no?
Yes, Mister.
Okay, so you said yes, and in the chat box, let me see. Yes. Yeah, very good. It is, yes. Thank you. So you people are understanding the point. The point is it gives something new. Why? Because the behavior of people in Oman could be different from the other countries. Even if it is not different, even then you are giving a new information. The new information is the people in Oman, let's say, their behavior was similar to the people working in, let's say, UK after the comparison. This is also a new information. People didn't know about it. Those people, the researchers, they didn't know about it. So until or unless you have researched on that thing, you cannot tell. So if you are doing a research on something which gives a new information or a new understanding, that is a research. Good. So let us go to the third definition. The third definition is by Mawley in 1978. What does it say? It says you arrive at a dependable solution to a problem. A dependable solution means the solution is good. It is correct. Through the planned and systematic collection, analysis, and interpretation of data. Simple. You find a solution to a problem through a systematic analysis of data. Solution. You find a solution to a problem through a systematic analysis of data. This definition was given by Mauly in 1978. Uh, do you think it's a good definition, or you find something missing in it? If you compare it with the first two definitions. It's a complete definition, or is there anything missing? Yes.
Doctor, can you repeat the question?
Okay. So we discussed the third definition, right? The third definition by Mauly in 1978. Mauly said that research is about finding a solution to a problem. Okay. Through a systematic analysis of data. So if you find a solution to a problem through systematic analysis of data, this is research. Do you find this definition to be complete, or actually, is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Yes, Mr. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. So I asked you a question, you can put it in a chat box, that do you think this third definition is a complete definition? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So does it tell something about a new information or contribution to the knowledge? Yeah, it tells us about the solution to a problem, that is okay. But does it say that this solution is a new solution? That means it's a new information. So it doesn't, yeah. Yes, exactly. So that is why this definition, yeah, now it doesn't tell. You are right. So this definition it lags behind the other two definitions because it doesn't say a new solution or a new information, which is very important in today's world. But as it is an old definition, so it is okay. So these are the three definitions which we discussed about research. So first two definitions are complete definitions if you ask me. This third definition actually missed an important point, that is the new solution or a new information or a new understanding or a new body of knowledge or something new which should be contributed to the body of knowledge. Okay. Now let us move towards the purpose of research. I will discuss with you 8 purposes of research. Eight purposes will be there. You can have any one of them or more than one for your research. So these are the 8 purposes. Maybe your research encompasses 1 or 2 of these purposes. It can be anything. And remember, all of these 8 purposes will give you some new information. Keep it in mind. The first purpose is to review and synthesize existing knowledge. Now it's very interesting. Just understand it. What does it say? It says that you review and collect information on some topic. For example, there is some chemical XYZ, and that chemical XYZ, many researchers have worked on it. There are 200 papers on it. Now, what I did, I come up with a research purpose. The purpose is I will review those papers which talk about chemical XYZ, and I will, after reviewing, I will synthesize those research. I will put together the research in one paper. These type of papers in research world are known as review papers. Review paper. What is a review paper? Review paper synthesizes lot of research into it. So many people have done research on chemical XYZ. I will put it in my paper and I will tell what was the important findings of different papers. I ask you a question. Does it generate some new information or new understanding? Or in simple words, does it contribute to the knowledge if I write a review paper? If I write a review paper, does it contribute to the knowledge? Okay. No. Okay. Just repeat you right now. Okay, if I tell you that if you want to study that chemical XYZ, you have to read 200 papers. Now you don't have to read those 200 papers. Instead of it, you can just read my one paper, which synthesize every information in those papers, important information in those papers. So does it increase your understanding? Yes or no? Yes. That means this review paper is contributing to the knowledge. Just think about it. Just think about it. That now you don't have to go through many research papers. Instead of it, you will just read a review paper. It's a very good technique. I used to do it many times. I would read a review paper in order to get more information in a speedy manner. Speedy manner means I don't have to read those 100 or 50 papers. Instead of it, I will just find a good review paper and I will just. So you can write a review paper. But now my next question is, you want to read a review paper in your area. Would you read a review paper of a student or a renowned professor? Renowned professor or a teacher? Or a teacher? What would you prefer? A review paper written by a student or a review paper written by a teacher, renowned teacher in that area or a professor in that area? Renowned paper written by some renowned professor? Yes. That means review paper. Writing a review paper is not an easy job. If you are a student, maybe there are journals whom you will send the paper to publish, they will not publish it. Let me tell you the review process. What is the review process? Review process is you write a paper, you do some research, you write a paper, you send it to some conference or some journal in your area. There are renowned journals as well. They will send your work to different professors or peers, the people who know about this. They have done research on that topic. Then they will tell that your research is making a contribution to the knowledge or not. If they say no, they will not publish it. If they say yes, then they will publish it. This is the research process right now. So, review paper, most likely journals will publish a review paper of a renowned professor or a teacher who has done research in that. Not like me, if I just find one area and just write a review paper on it. Maybe journals will not take it because I do not have my research on that area. So keep it in mind, writing a review paper, it's not an easy job. You must have a credibility, you must have a profile. Profile means you are a known researcher in that area. Then in that case, it can be taken. Or you are working with some teacher or a professor who has research in that area. Then it becomes credible. Otherwise, every person can write a review paper by, they don't know the craft, they don't know the important thing in the other papers which they need to put in that review paper. So, review paper is one type of a paper you must know. And it's very good. If you are doing some research, I would suggest always try to find a review paper in that area. If you find a review paper in that area, it would become very easy for you. Okay, coming to the second point, to investigate some existing situation or problem. Here, I have to tell you two important technical terms which are used in research. One is to investigate. The second one is to explore. There is a big difference between investigation and exploration in research. What is that? Okay. If I say my purpose of research is to investigate the behavior of people at workplace, then you must understand it that this problem already exists. Many researchers have worked on it, and what I am doing, I am just trying to add a new thing into it. The problem already exists. Many researchers have worked on it, and I am investigating it again. Investigation means the problem, the model or framework already exists. Lot of information is there. I will add some information to it. That means the contribution. But when you say explore, that you are exploring something. Let's say I want to explore the behavior of COVID-19 virus. That means there is very little research or no research available on this topic. And what you will do, you will find or you will explore that research problem for the first time, or maybe you are new in it. You will not find research papers that will tell you about COVID-19 or that new thing. So explore means no research model or research framework or information is there, or very little information is there, and you have to start from the scratch. You have to do it of your own. But when you say you are investigating some problem, that means the problem already exists, lot of knowledge is there about that problem, and you are just testing it or increasing the knowledge. If you ask me or any of your teachers here, most of them will do investigation in research. That means there is a literature available for that problem. Lot of information is there. They will read it and then they will contribute to it. Exploration is tough. People in social sciences or the people who develop theories. Okay, so if there is some communication student here, they know there is a sender-receiver theory. There are other theories as well. In information technology, you have theories as well, like theory of automata. Theory of automata is there. I believe there is one theory. In biotechnology, you will have some theories. Those people who develop theories, they actually work, they define a problem for the first time, then they collect information about it, and it takes them 6 years, 10 years to actually develop a theory. It's not an easy job. Theory is something which is difficult. Can you understand what I am saying? So theory development is difficult. You need to explore the problem, explore. Whereas investigation is easy. Investigation is comparatively easy because you have a lot of research available and you just add into it. So investigation is different from explore. Investigate and explore, you must know these two words. So here, what is the second point says? The second point says to investigate some existing situation or problem. That means the problem is there and you are investigating it. You are testing something new in it. Many researchers have worked on it. This can be a purpose of research. The third one is to provide solution to a problem. Now that's simple. There are many researchers who will, the purpose of their research would be to find a solution to a problem. For example, right now, there are many researchers who are working on COVID-19 vaccine. Vaccine is a solution to it. So there are many researchers who are working on the solution. So maybe you have some problem and you want to find a solution. This can be one. But remember, now you know, every research is not about a solution. Sometimes your research is about review. Sometimes your research is about investigation or to explain something. Sometimes your research is about only to explore something. And sometimes you will find a solution. So if you write a research paper and there is no solution in it, that's okay, because maybe you are just writing a review paper or maybe you are just investigating a problem. You are telling something. Investigation means you are telling more about that problem. It's okay. This is a valid research because you are increasing the understanding. Research is not about solution. Solution is just one part of it. So keep it in mind. Research, academic research, it's not about solutions. But if you are researching on some topic in which you want to find a solution, your research purpose would be to find a solution to that research problem. The fourth one is to explore and analyze more general issues. Explore and analyze more general issues. Now, we talk about it. The word explore is there. In the second point, the word investigate was there. So, to explore and analyze more general issues. That means you do not have any existing problem, but you are exploring something new. And it's a tough job. It's a challenging thing. The fifth point is to construct or create a new procedure of system. That means someone has created that thing before, and you find a new method or procedure for it. For example, this is a hand sanitizer. It contains it contains 70% alcohol, 20% water, and 10% other ingredients. Now, you make a sanitizer as well. This sanitizer kills 99.9% germs. 99.9% germs. Okay, so, or viruses, you can say. Now you make a new sanitizer which only uses 50% alcohol, 30% water, and 20% other ingredients. And it also kills 99.9% germs. It is also killing 99.9% germs. So this is the same thing, but you have defined or constructed a new procedure for it. New procedure. This is also research. Because your method of making a sanitizer is the same. Okay, screen has gone black. Let me. No, it's okay, I think. Now you can see the screen. Yes? Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, okay. So, you must know that to construct or create a new procedure, if you are creating a new procedure to make something which is already available, it is also research. This is also research. There are researchers who will do this. Then, the next point is, to explain a new phenomenon. We talked about it. You are just explaining coronavirus, COVID-19, explaining it. You are not finding a vaccine to it. That is the solution to a problem. If you are explaining something new, this is also a valid research. It contributes to the knowledge. Okay, to generate new knowledge, this can be a purpose of research or a combination of any of the above. That means you can have one of these research purposes of research or maybe two. Keep it in mind that the more purpose of research you have, the more complex your research problem will become. For example, I say, my research will explore COVID-19 virus in the world, and I will also find a vaccine for COVID-19. Now there are two purposes in this research problem. First one is I will explore the new thing, which is COVID-19. That means the reasons why COVID-19 spread, how does it spread for the first time, what is the behavior of COVID-19 in different countries, and then after that I will come to the solution. That means I will find the vaccine of this. Maybe it will take years. In fact, for your first purpose, that is much bigger. You are exploring it. But you can explore something, like some people would have, I would explore the reasons. Yeah, but how does it start? You have to find the reason. There is a still controversy behind it. That how does it start? Someone says, even WHO is not clear about it, that it started from a bat, which is like a bird. Someone said it started from a seafood. So a researcher who would be working in it, he has to find out the right reason for it and how does it spread. How does, because coronavirus, if you ask any doctor, it was before, it was available, it was there, it was like a flu. But this COVID-19 was different. So how does it become? This is also a controversy. We don't know that it was a biological weapon used by China. It's still a controversy. If it is a biological weapon, then there are many questions which people can ask. Then why China would spread it to their friendly countries as well? Of course, it would not have been in my country, Pakistan, or even in Oman, because they are friendly countries to China. If China is using it as a biological weapon, they would have given a vaccine to Oman and Pakistan first of all. So there are many controversies. They need to be explored. Okay, explored. I say explore. Why explore? Because this is a new thing. There is also one more controversy, which I tell you, which is coming from China. And in America, they say that this comes from America, and America used it as a biological weapon. They first sent their Navy people into China. They came to that city, Wuhan, because it's a seaside city, and they spread it there. This is also there, and there are many evidences against it as well. Like in America, they have put many people last year in 2019 start. They died because of some flu, and we know now that COVID-19 also causes flu. So maybe it started in America and then it came to China or something like that. We don't know. So it needs to be explored. Like there are biotechnologists. Yeah, this is true. This is true. There are controversies between the countries, but researchers, they don't have any biases. Even there is a researcher in America, if he finds that this is the reason of COVID-19, he will publish it. He will not think that this is being done by America or this is done by China, so I don't publish it. No, research is not like that. Remember, in the first lectures, we talked about research ethics. This is also ethics. You are Omani, but when you are doing a research, if there is a research, you have to be unbiased about it. Unbiased means the ethics is whatever you find, and if it is true, you need to tell it to the world. You need to tell it to the world. And this is in our Islam as well, right? You need to spread the knowledge. So research is the knowledge. You need to tell it. So this is what researchers do. It's on the principle which Islam also preaches, that you need to spread the knowledge. You need to spread the knowledge, and that is the main thing. So anyway, your research purpose can be any of these purposes. Now, let me come to the classification of research. When I say classification of research, there are 4 important things which are used for classification. There are 4 important things which are used for classification. If you see this PowerPoint slide, the first thing is the purpose, the reason why you are conducting a research. This is the purpose. It can be any 1 or 2 of the previous 8 which we have discussed. Then there is a process. Process of a research means the way in which data is collected and analyzed. Now, process is very important. Process of a research. Process of a research means how will you collect information from the subject? For example, I gave you the research problem or purpose, that is, I want to investigate the behavior of people at their workplace. Behavior of people at their workplace. Now, these people, what should be the process? The process is that I should collect information from different people who are working in different companies. Now from where? That means it is a big purpose of research, big research problem. Why? Because I didn't specify any country in it. So that means there are more than 200 countries in this world, and in every country I will be conducting my research. Yes? So I need to narrow it down so that my process becomes easier. Process of research, the way of collecting information from the subject would become easy. And this is also what you will cover in the logic of the research. If you see the third point, logic of the research is to move from general to specific. Now, what does it mean? Now, I give you this example so that it will become easy. Okay, my purpose of the research is to investigate the behavior of people working at their workplace in Oman. Now, what I have done, I had a big problem, because if I put it in this way, behavior of the people at their workplaces, if I only say this, that means my research is for every country in the world, which is not possible. It will take a lot of time, lot of money. So I cannot do it. So I make this big problem into a relatively small problem. Like, I want to investigate the behavior of people at the workplace in Oman. Now it becomes relatively small. The purpose becomes smaller. Okay, now what would be the process? In Oman, I have to collect. Okay, screen is black again. Let me. Maybe for some time when I'm not looking at the screen, so it becomes like that. Let me share it again. Okay. Okay. Because I think when for 2 or 3 minutes, when I'm not looking at the PowerPoint slide, so then it becomes black. Okay, anyway, so we were talking about now the purpose of the research becomes specific or manageable. The process will become manageable. Now you have to collect data from Oman. Even that, it is quite tough, right? There are 5 million people in Oman, and let's say you are saying that these 5 million people, out of those 5 million people, maybe 1 million people are going to some company. Okay, but still, if you want to collect information from 1 million people, it is still tough. It's still very difficult. So what will you do? In your process of research, you will define sampling. Inshallah, we have a full chapter on sampling, but right now I am clarifying the process of research for you. So in the process of research, you have to collect information from different subjects, that means people for this problem. You will make a sample. Sample means you will not go to those 1 million people working in the company. What you will do, you will collect information from maybe 200 or 300 people. This is your sample. And based on that sample, there is a method for making a sample. We will discuss that in that sampling chapter. How would you sample? How would you include people in your sample? So those people, you will collect data from them, and from that you will define the logic of your research. The logic of our research is the fourth point. From general to specific or vice versa. What does it mean? It means the results or the new understanding or new information which I am getting from those people, I will say this is valid for the whole Oman. That means in whole Oman, behavior of the people at their workplace would be like that. Do you get my point? So let me repeat it quickly. So first of all, there is a purpose of our research. Your purpose of the research should be manageable. I told you, like I gave you the research problem. The problem is to investigate the behavior of people at workplace. Now this was a big problem. Why? Because there are more than 200 countries in this world, and you will investigate the behavior of all those people working in companies in those 200 countries. We cannot do it. So what we did, we made it a relatively small process. How did we do it? So we put the purpose now to investigate the behavior of people at workplace in Oman. So now we are talking about Oman. But even in Oman, you would have 5 million people living. And maybe 1 million people are going to some company. So can you collect data from 1 million people? Still the process of research is big. It's not manageable. What you will do, you will make a sample in your process of research. Sample means you will collect information from 200 and 300. We will discuss what would be the sample size in sampling chapter. You will make a sample of it, and from that sample, you will get some results, and you will define the logic of the result. Yeah, managing the research, managing the information means from that information you will get some results, some information, and you will say, okay, the behavior of the people in Oman is like this. Now, what are you doing? From 200 or 300 people results, you are saying 1 million people will be. This is the logic of the research. Logic means maybe from general to specific or from specific to general. So sampling is very important in your process because it defines the logic of the research. Sometimes your research could be like this, that you have a big sample or many countries, like, okay, let me give you that example. If it is clear till now, is it clear to you that what is the logic of a research in this case? Logic is from small samples, you are saying whatever these people are doing, all the people in Oman working in companies would be like that. And you will present your result, your outcome like that. So the fourth point is the outcome, which is the contribution to the knowledge. If this point is clear, then I will give another example. So now you know what is the purpose, how will you define a purpose, the process of research is there, then the logic, and then the outcome. Outcome means simple, the contribution to the knowledge. Is this process clear? Are these 4 steps of classification of research clear to you? Yes, okay. Sometimes there are people who will do research on many countries. Okay, thank you. For example, there is some researcher. Okay. I will explain it again. Let me first make a point. There are researchers who would like to see the behavior of people in Middle East, behavior of people working in different companies in Middle East. Now in Middle East, you will have Oman, you will have Saudi Arabia, you will have Amarat, you will have Bahrain, you will have Kuwait. Now it's not one country. So there will be different researchers who have done the research on these countries. You will put it together. And based on it, you will say the behavior of, let's say there is no one who has done it for Oman. What you did, you saw the behavior in other Middle East countries and you said that the behavior would be the same in Oman. Why? Because they are the Arabic people and most of the time they behave same. Why are you saying it? Let's say in other 5 Middle East countries, the behavior was similar. So there were researchers who did research in Saudi Arabia, there were some researchers who did research in Kuwait, there was a researcher who did research in, let's say, Bahrain and UAE so based on it, you are now saying that Omani people will have the same, because the culture is the same. What is this? The logic of the research. From journal to specific. That means from big Middle East data, you are getting the outcome or result for Oman, from journal to specific. Whereas in the first case, I told you that you took a sample of some people and you said that it is applicable to all the people in Oman. That was from specific to general. So your logic can be from general to specific or from specific to general. Let me repeat the whole thing. This is an overview of what we will be doing in the research process. The classification of research has 4 parts: purpose of research, process of research, logic of research, and outcome. Purpose of research now. That purpose of research, why are you doing this? And your purpose of research should be manageable. Your problem, because your purpose will define your research problem, it should not be a big one. It should be manageable within time, because you will always have a time limit. So your purpose of research is there, then you define the process. If your purpose of research is manageable, the process will become manageable. In our process, we will study about sampling techniques, how we use sample in order to get the results. Okay, so the sample is there, and how would you collect data from people, or how would you collect information from different subjects? Based on that process, you will define the logic. Logic of the research means whether your research will move from specific to general or from general to specific. And then you will give your results. Number 4 thing is the outcome, results. And you remember, we now know result means contribution to the knowledge. Something new, which people before they do not know. It should say something. Okay, now I ask you a question. You have to just tell it in yes or no so that I will know that you have the understanding. I studied the behavior of Omani people at their workplace. And then I compared it This was the investigation, okay? Then I compare my results with other Middle East countries. And in my another research, I showed that the behavior of Omani people is similar to other Middle East countries in terms of working at their company, working in their company. Is it a contribution to the knowledge or not? Let me repeat my question. My question is, I did a research on the behavior of Omani people at their workplace. After that, I compared the behavior results with the behavior of other Middle East countries, people working in different companies. And I draw a conclusion. The outcome is that the behavior is same in other Middle East countries and in Oman. Is this research making a contribution to the knowledge? Okay. Okay. Why no, Haider Sultan? If you can write the reason what you think in the chat box. Ehlam also said no. Those who are saying no, any one of them can put the reason in the chat box. Why do you think it is no? Any words? Why you think it is no? Do you think it is not a new information? But I say it's a new information. I'll give you the reason. Okay. The reason is, I say it is a contribution to the knowledge. Why? Because before, no one knew about that the behavior of people in Oman, working people in Oman, is similar to the working people in Middle East. Is there any research which tells about it? No. I am the first one who is drawing the comparison. So that means I am giving you a new understanding. Otherwise, if you are starting a company in Oman, let's say, this is the point which I am emphasizing. It increases the knowledge. Why? Because before you didn't know, or the people, they didn't know that the behavior of Omani people at their workplace is similar to the behavior of people working in other Middle East countries. Whether it is same or whether it is different, both things are contributing to the knowledge. Why? Because you are the first one who is telling it by drawing a comparison. So that means you are contributing to the knowledge. So must keep it in mind. If something is similar, you cannot say that now it is not a contribution. It is a contribution if you are doing it for the first time. Do you get my point? Okay. Yeah, okay. That is good. It's much better in a class. Okay. It's much better in a class if you can, yes, share new knowledge. Look, in this scenario, there is no other research which says that behavior of Omani people is similar to Middle East people. They just studied the behavior in different countries. I studied it in Oman. Let's say I'm just assuming, or you studied it in Oman, and then you compare it with the other countries' behavior, Middle East countries' behavior. Then you draw a conclusion that the behavior is the same. That means if you are working in a Coca-Cola company in Oman, or you are working in a Coca-Cola company in Saudi Arabia, you will find a similar behavior there and here. Let's say, I'm just assuming. This is a new thing which you are telling. Because no one before told about it. And this is a valid research. Yeah, it is about sharing a new knowledge. New knowledge means before any research paper doesn't tell us that the behavior is similar. Now you are telling it for the first time based on your research, based on research. Research is different from intuition. Intuition means I think behavior is the same. If I say I think the behavior is the same, on what basis you are saying? Research means you should have some base, some knowledge. On the basis of that you are saying it. I say, let's say, it's my intuition or my thinking. I say in Oman, tourism industry is growing. On what basis I'm saying it? But if I say, I read it in a newspaper or in a research paper based on a research in Oman, in tourism industry is increasing by 5% every year, then it's a valid thing. This is what is research. Research is not an intuition. Research means you have some intuition, you provide some evidence, you collect, you go through the process of research, you collect information about it, then in the outcome you will say that this is the thing based on my research. So intuition is intuition. Your thinking is thinking. You need to prove it. Still, if there is one theory which is just hypothetical, that means it's still intuition. Big Bang theory. Although it is called a theory, it's not a theory. It's still a hypothetical situation. Why? Hypothesis, or we will talk about it. Hypothesis means your intuition and you want to check it after getting data. Big Bang theory, I heard about it, right? If someone heard about it, Big Bang theory. I don't know how to say it in Arabic. I'm sure most of you have heard about it. You know about it. Scientists say that everything was a sun, then there was some star which hit the sun and the world, Earth, and Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, Jupiter, these now are they started revolving around the sun. You know that. The scientific theory. The sun was, everything was sun, but when it becomes into pieces, these become different planets, and those planets started revolving around the sun. Yes or no? Big Bang theory. Yes, of course you know that. Okay. So, is it a theory in technical sense? No. It is just a hypothesis. Hypothesis means, can we prove it right now that it was found before? And no, no one can. Even scientists cannot. So they are just putting their intuition, and they call it a theory. That this, what could have happened. Of course, scientists, they do not believe in religion. So they are giving some scientific explanation of that how does this earth came into being. And still there is no reason why there is only life on Earth and or not on other planets. If they were a part of one sun, so every part should be the same, right? So why Earth is different from others? They cannot provide me. So this is Big Bang theory is just a, it's not a theory. Theory is always backed with evidences. It's not a theory. You can call it a concept, intuition. Because we don't know whether it is true or not. So I hope you understand what I am saying here. So hypothesis is like explanation. Hypothesis is like your thinking. Supposition, yes, the supposition would be a better word. You suppose something, then you try to prove it. So in research, you will have the hypothesis, and that hypothesis you need to prove. Either this is true or false. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. So this was the process or classification of the research, the 4 important points. Okay, I will just take 5 minutes. I will finish the class early, no problem about it, because in this class only I am speaking, so I cannot teach you for 2 hours. Purpose, classification of main types of research. This is the basic classification, we know that. Purpose of a research, process of a research, the logic of a research, and the 4th one is the outcome. Outcome of the research and logic, it can be up and down, no problem about it. Now there are different words written at the end. Inductive, quantitative, descriptive, applied, exploratory, qualitative, basic, deductive, and analytical. Don't worry about it, just move towards the next slide. First thing, we will fill that table at the end of this chapter. So don't worry about it. But you must know what is exploratory research, what is quantitative data, what is qualitative data, what is basic research, what is applied research. So the first thing is, because we have studied it, so it would be very easy. Exploratory research. Okay. Exploratory, now you know, when I say exploratory, that means you are doing something and you don't know, you don't have any information about it, or very little information is there. This is not investigation, this is exploratory. You explore something. Okay, just see it. What's going to happen to the mixture? You don't know. I ask you. You know, if you, it's very simple to you know that. If I combine 2 molecules of hydrogen with 1 molecule of oxygen, it will make H2O, water. So if you are doing something on water, that will be investigation. But if you combine 3 molecules of hydrogen with 1 molecule of oxygen, what will happen? Can you tell me? Maybe no. Because these are, for water you have 2 molecules of hydrogen combined with 1 molecule of oxygen, H2O. I'm just giving a simple example. Water, H2O is the formula for water. You don't need to remember it. I'm just giving an example. But we don't know what will happen if I combine 3 molecules of hydrogen with 1 molecule of oxygen. If you are doing it for the first time, then it is exploration. You don't know. This is what this guy is doing. What's going to happen to the mixture? Don't know. Conducted when there are a few or no earlier studies on an issue or a problem. This first point, very important. You don't know because you don't have the previous research on it. It aims to look for patterns, ideas, or hypotheses. Hypothesis, now you know, this is a supposition or your thinking or intuition, rather than testing or confirming a hypothesis. For example, someone has done that work before, you are investigating it, that means you are confirming something. But here in exploratory research, you don't know what will happen. Everything will be new. It focuses on gaining insights and familiarity with the subject area for rigorous investigation at later stages. Rigorous investigation, that means, first of all, you see the behavior, investigate, you explore the insights. Then, when you get some knowledge about it, then you get investigation. Investigation means, based on that knowledge, you will try to find other results. Best suited at the beginning of your research plan. Best suited at the start. And another important point is it helps reduce level of bias. Now, what is bias? Bias means, I'm just telling you, if you are exploring something, you don't have any knowledge from previous people, researchers. That means whatever you are doing would be not based on someone else's thinking. You will be doing it for the first time. That means you are unbiased. Your focus or your research is not influenced by any other researcher. But when you are investigating, there are a lot of researchers who have worked on it. That means maybe you like one researcher's results and your results could be more towards bias. In exploratory research, most of the time your research results are not biased. It's your own results. It's not influenced by anyone. Prejudice, yes, very right. So there will be no prejudice. You are not influenced by someone. Your results would be new for everyone. So that is the exploratory research. Inshallah, do you want to go ahead or? I think it's fine to stop here. Or should I move? Is it okay to end a class right now or? Yeah, okay. So actually bias means you get influenced by someone, by some research. So in exploratory research, you will not be biased. Why you will not be biased? Because you are doing it for the first time. So there is no chance that your results will be biased. Okay, so I will end a class here, inshallah, because I don't want it to be very, I hope you understand the different things, and I will stop the recording now, but don't leave because I have to take your attendance. After that, you can leave. I am stopping the recording.